You know, I was from Mafia, and I was still embracing the Mafia thing. But the youngsters, they was, doing the Shack Boy little thing, in which I respected because they was my little homies.
Kev Mac video, you know this is for sure. Kev Mac video, open your soul, represent your ghetto, baby.
The older Shack Boys, they was baby mafias at the time. But like I say, when a lot of the older mafias, like my age, we was going to jail and stuff. A lot of the youngsters was left out there alone, so they didn't have no sense of direction. And then all it takes is one person come through. We're gonna be this. So that's what happened. Too Cool, Baby Too Cool was one of the main founder of the Shack Boys in my neighborhood. Then he had all the other little youngsters following him, you know. But if a lot of the older mafias would have stayed out, then it probably wouldn't have been no Shack Boys over there. You know, everybody would have been mafia thing would have continued on until the East Coast thing came out. You know.
Is there any big significance between 76 Place and 76th Street other than Shack Boys and Mafia?
Well, it's the same neighborhood. Just people may hang out on 76th Place, and then you have those that might hang out on 76th Street. You know.
Now, them guys you mentioned earlier, Number One, Pitbull, Eki, those was all Raymond's close friends?
Yes.
And them the original, the first wave of Crips.
Yeah, the first wave, on my side of Central, Number One, and all them stayed on my side of Central. Pitbull, all them stayed over there. And when they started turning Crips, that would influence us to start being Crips. Because we all were from the same neighborhood, we grew up together. You know, a lot of us was younger, and we didn't run with these dudes, but they had influence over. And then Big Pitbull, we used to sell candy for his father. He take us out and we sell candy. So that's how I knew Big Pitbull and his family real good. And then he hung with Number One and all them. So I got to knowing all them.
Was any of the Munson's Crips? Any Munson's turned Crip? Any of Craig Munson's brothers?
Oh, the younger ones, they started being Crips. The older Munsons, they after the avenues, you didn't hear much about them no more. And see, the Munsons, they stayed in my neighborhood first. Then they moved down the way to the 80s. They stayed off of 74th between Central and Hoop. You know.
Can you tell me when Council Crips came out?
The Council Crips came out like around 72. Around 72.
Before the Swans? Around the same time?
Yeah.
How about Kitchen Crips?
Kitchen came out around late 72, 73.
So, from what you remember, because you got a hell of a memory, I take it you've been...
See, the Kitchen, the original Kitchens, a lot of them was Bonzilla boys. They was Bonzilla boys. And they pretty much was made to turn Crip. You know, they had their own little group. They was up under the avenues, because you know the avenues ran around in Kitchen neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, my neighborhood, they had the McCoy boys, Melvin and Frank McCoy in there. See, and Raymond was closer to the McCoy boy, but he didn't want to be no McCoy boy. He wanted to hang out with Munsons and all that.
Mm-hmm.
See, but they didn't want Raymond down there with him because Raymond was a troublemaker in their eyes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, but Raymond was really a true homie.
Mm-hmm.
Raymond didn't mess up with no Crip. If you was a Crip, Raymond wasn't gonna mess up. If you was outside the Crip, you getting your ass whooped. Yeah, because that's what he was. I'm gang banging, so I'm finna gang bang right. I'm finna whoop ass, and that's what Raymond did. You know, and you know, speaking on Raymond, without Raymond, there wouldn't be no East Coast. Without Raymond, there wouldn't be no Crip.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because that was the real big homie.
So it was originally East Side Crips, or was it just Crips?
The East Side, you had your East Side Crips started first, then the West Side, and then Mac Thomas. A lot of people don't speak about Mac Thomas. Mac Thomas took it to Compton, but Mac Thomas was the East Side Crip first.
Right.
Then he took it to the Grand.
What about these Carver Parks? When did they come out?
Carver Park came out early in the game too. I remember them. A lot of these Crip games started coming out 72, 73. A lot of them, like Carver Park. And how I learned about them is when I was working at the WLCC.
In Watts?
Yeah, in Watts. And we used to clean up in different little neighborhoods. So we go over there, front streets, Carver Park, front hood. We used to walk just everywhere, just clean up place. So I learned quite a bit about Watts back in the days, you know. The Crips that was out back then, like, you know, Backstreet was out back then. And the early 70s, 72, you had quite a few Crips were starting there.
So Crips really spread it 71, 72?
Yeah.
72 for sure.
Yeah, it
really
started really
off.
spreading.
Yeah.
Spreading then, you know, 71, 72. Before you know it, it was everywhere.
Everywhere. Spread like wildfire.
Yeah. Just everywhere, you know.
So, who was some of the early beefs that Raymond had? Just, was it Athens Park?
Well, the early beef, this is another small gang that a lot of people don't talk about. Cause they had came in and gone, and that was the Figaro Boys.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Richard Miles and Baby Gerald now.
Mm-hmm.
When they left and went to Pomona and started Saint-Town Crips, then that's when the Figaro Boys kind of died down. Then the Hoovers came about, you know. But Raymond and them used to beef against the Pueblos, the Figaro Boys, the Beach Boys that end up being Bishops, and the Brims.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much with the Pyrus and the Bonham. Matter of fact, Raymond, we always at work at the WSCC kicking back. Raymond came through. What's up, y'all? Woo, 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 we holler. Raymond walked over there by the bounty hunters, and they greeted him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he didn't have no real beef with the bounty hunters. You know, even though they knew he was a Crip, that's how much respect they had for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but he did, a lot of beefing with the Brims, a like I say, because they had a lot of the west side from the north side of Florence. Yeah, the Brims had a lot of that there.
Mm.
You know, they was big over there. The only Crips that you pretty much had at that time over that way was the Harlem 30s.
Mm.
Yeah, because I remember all of that 5'9" brims, that which is 5'9" Hoovers now, that was all brims back in the day.
All that was Brim.
And
Broadway
that's what
over.
Zilla is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They had the big Sears sit right there. That was all they hood back when I was a kid.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
All that was
That
there.
was that's 5'9" Hoover now, but all that used to be brim, 5'9" block brims.
Mm.
Yep, all the way in the 50s.
They had all the way.
Yeah, five. They had all that, all in the 40s and 30s.
Yeah, Fly and all them cats.
Yeah, Brett was Lil Punkin.
Yeah.
From Brett. I was in YA with him. He ran a lot of that over there too. The country, big country,
Yeah.
Little Country. Until Little Country got killed.
Mm.
Yeah, but and then over there you had the that's the 60s. They are neighborhoods. Back then there was just neighborhood. They was like the only Crip gang over that way too.
Mm.
All the rest was just Brim, Van Ass boys and Brim.
Mm.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah, you're right. Until you get to the hundreds, the UGs and block.
Yeah. Once you cross this side of Florence, then you had the A trades
Right.
that was forming then. See, I went to Washington High with a lot of A trades. They had a few little Hoover, 9 Deuce Hoovers was going there, a couple of A trades Hoovers. Then they had no 107 and 11 Deuce back then. You know, them dudes was Westside Crips. You had the 111 blocks, then, and you had the shotguns, and Gardena. You had the neighborhood block Crips. They was there then, you know. But I had learned a lot about the West Side when I went to Washington High, and I used to kick it with the A-Trade gangsters.
Nice.
You know, Big Sidewinder and all them, Ex-Con, Hunchy. And I hang out with them during the day, during school time. After school, might spend an hour or two over there with them. Then time to head back to the east side. You know what I'm saying?
On the east side, when did 4-Tray and 5-Tray come in?
They came in, 4-Tray and 5-Tray came in back in the days too. The early 70s,
How
around the
come?
mid to the early 70s.
I mean, you might not be able to answer this, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. When we talk about the early Crip gangs, how come 5-Tray never come up?
No, I didn't. Yeah, but like I said, I can't answer that. I just don't. But 5-Trays, they goes back though.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I touched on them myself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying.
they
Nobody
was
else
there.
talks
They
about
was
it.
there.
Right.
Yeah,
Because
I was
after
a kid, and 5-Trays was up and rolling.
after I did the interview with you, I had 2 other OGs say the same thing. And I'm like, damn, nobody even talks about that.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
Yeah, and they always been there.
yeah.
You know.
So right?
yeah.
Yeah. See, a lot of these Crip gangs was always there. You know. Sometimes you have moments where your hood ain't kicking up no dust. You ain't being spoke of because all your big homies in prison. And like I say, the youngsters, they be out there, they don't have no sense of direction. They just go on all kind of which way, and you know, your hood kind of start not necessarily dying, but it be at a moment where everything is just quiet.